So when I first visited a pulp and paper mill, I mean, back in Germany, you have some of those. Most is about recycling paper. So here, these are large, very large factories. So they take wood chips, so take trees from plantation. So it's like a carrot, just the carrot grows 25 years, and then they harvest this tree, planting new trees immediately, and then these trees are turned into wood chips and they're cooked. So the hemicellulose fiber of these trees are turned into pulp, and pulp is turned into cardboard or paper. But some of these hemicellulose fiber is lost in the system, and they take it out of the wastewater stream and separate it. And there are 5 large pulp and paper mills in the central North Island here of New Zealand, altogether producing around about 250,000 tonnes of these fibers. And all these fibers have either been burned or landfilled and pushed into valley.
Is this also the state of the art outside of New Zealand, in the world in total?
I think it's very common what I have read recently in the papers, so what I'm able to follow. So you have this fiber, and it looks really like wet cardboard, and it's carbon. In soil science or in organic waste management, we're often looking at carbon, nitrogen, phosphate, and the nutrients. And we have to make sure that actually this is digestible either by bacteria, and we talk about earthworms a lot today, or fungi, basically. These are the 3 main organisms in the soil breaking down this organic matter or processing it. But you need to have a good balance. So you need to have, we call it a CN ratio, carbon-nitrogen ratio. It's a bit more than that. It's also phosphate and all the other nutrients. And the pulp mill solids, these fibers, they just contain carbon. They have a CN ratio, depending on the wastewater treatment plant, between 50 and 200. And it's almost impossible to land apply it directly because it will absorb a lot of nitrogen in the soil, which in some areas would be beneficial, but mostly it's not, because you can't grow any plants out of this. So we needed to find a technology, and the state of the art back in those days, 15 years ago, was thermal composting. So you would add a lot of nitrogen fertilizer, usually urea or any of these affordable mineral fertilizer. You have to blend it, mix it, and then you have to turn it around. And this was the state of the art. But we looked at how can we implement it for 200,000 tons? And it's too expensive. Wow. You can't. It's just too expensive. You can have a small portion as peat replacement for potting mixes, but New Zealand has a population of close to 5 million now, of the size of former East Germany, just to give you a comparison. So like Berlin on West Germany, so to speak.